Hello, this is Shadow of the Moon, and today I'm going to be doing a Cyberdark Dragon deck profile for you. Yes, just another Cyberdark Dragon deck profile based off the three structure decks that had just come out recently. The only difference is this time I'm actually going to be showing you what you can do by building all three of them to make a very efficient and very synergetic and very strong Cyberdark deck. This was a very great structure deck, and I think a deck that a lot of people had been looking forward to, an archetype a lot of people had been looking forward to finally to be able to use with their Cyber Dragons. And you do have to have Cyber Dragons in here, obviously, to be able to make the deck work with the new boss monsters, Cyberdark and Dragon, and some of the other stuff in here. But all in all, this is a very fun deck, and it's actually really, really good. If you get the 3 copies, this is what this profile is going to be about. It's just going to show you, if you buy 3 structure decks, how to best utilize what you have in there to be able to make the best deck that you're able to make with the budget. Because I know that some people have different cards in the decks, like they'll throw in cards like Almirage, or they may have like other stuff, and then they're like, hey, I don't have a lot of those cards to put in the deck. This is an easy way to be able to make a very affordable structure deck, or very affordable Cyberdark deck for you. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight on into it. And I just first want to say thank you to my new subscribers. You guys rock. I always appreciate you guys subbing, and I always appreciate all the people that are subbed, posting comments, and just watching my videos and taking the time to. I don't know how much that means to me. I'm always going to be grateful for it, so that's why I always do any of these videos. I know I do it quite a bit, but it's to me, that's just how I am. I'm humble like that. I always appreciate everything that you guys do in terms of watching my videos, commenting, and just enjoying yourselves, because it's just supposed to be a very chill and fun channel. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get straight on into it. So first, you're going to have your 3 copies of your Cyber Dragon. They are gracious enough to give you, obviously, the 3. This is an easy way to start with the deck, and helps you swarm. Obviously, the 2100 beat stick that can go on the field immediately if your opponent controls a monster. Then you've got 3 copies of Cyber Core. This is literally the core of the deck. And what he does is his name is treated as Cyber Dragon while he's face up on the field or in the graveyard. And when he is normal summoned, you can add a Cyber spell or trap from your deck to your hand, meaning you can add that Cyber Emergency that is very important in this deck, or you can add the Power Bond, which goes very, very well with this deck, and it's essential for it. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. It can only be used at once per turn, but since you're able to get that spell and trap, which is an easy way to get that Cyber Emergency to start going into your plays. Alright, and then we're going to run one of each of this is completely optional. You do not have to run one of each if you don't want to. You've got one Cyberdark Horn, Cyberdark Edge, and Keel. Basically, these are used to equip to your level 3 or lower Dragon type monster, and original attack of the monster is equipped to it by this effect. This card attacks a defensive position monster. This one inflicts battle damage to the opponent. This is destroyed by battle. Destroy the equipped monster instead. And then Cyberdark Keel is destroyed by battle. Destroy the equipped monster instead. So these guys will protect the monster equipped to it. And this guy will obviously do piercing damage to the opponent. So that's why I run 3 of them in the deck, because they are very, very good. And they are, technically, since they are Cyberdarks. But what you want to run 3 of is going to be your Cyberdark Dragon. This is going to be your main monster in the deck next to Cyber Dragon and Chimera and everything. So basically, Cyberdark Dragon has 2 effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can draw a card, which is great draw power. You can use one of the effects, discard this card, add a machine Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand, or during damage calculation, if a monster equipped with this card battles, you can send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. Great way to fill your graveyard with Cyber Dragons, and just all in all being able to get that draw power. This is why you run 3 in the deck. Since it is a level 3, it works really well with a lot of the other Cyberdarks. Right, then we have 3 copies of Cyberdark Claw. So Cyberdark Claw is when he's sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can target a Cyberdark monster in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, and once per turn you can activate one of the following effects. You can either discard this card to add a Cyberdark spell or trap, or during damage calculation, if a monster is equipped with this card battles, you can send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Now, what makes that important is being able to send Cyber and Dragon to the graveyard, so that way you can go into your Cyberdark and Dragon. That's why it's very important. That's why I run three of these in the deck. Alright, and then the new guy on the block, the new card that they just came out with, Cyberdark Chimera. Great card to be able to add Power Bond from your deck to your hand. This is mainly why it's in here for it, to be able to get that Power Bond, because we are running that in there. And then, since it can only be used as a dragon or machine cyber monsters fusion material, which is not a problem at all. And you can send one Cyberdark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a different name than the cards in your graveyard. You can activate this effect only once per turn. So, essentially, he's going to help you get your Power Bond, and he's also going to be able to send Cyberdark monsters from your deck to the graveyard, which is really helpful, such as cards like... He acts as a Foolish Burial and a Searcher for Power Bond. And I think everybody wanted a way to be able to get Power Bond out, like to be able to search for it. Because if you have a Cyber Dragon OTK deck, you really have no way to be able to search for it. This will help you out a lot. And then just one copy of Cyber Dragon Hers. Hers is just in here only for one because of the fact that he is a level 1, but it's treated as Cyber Dragon. And then once per turn, you can either, it's card is special summon, you can make this card level become 5, which will go into Cyber Dragon Infinity, or as card is sent to the graveyard, you can add another Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Mainly, you're going to be using, I only have one in here, but you're only mainly using the effect of the second one to be able to add a Cyber Dragon from your deck to your hand, or graveyard to your hand. That's why it's in here. I don't have Cyber Dragon Infinity or whatever in here, because once again, this was meant to be the structure deck for it, so I'm trying to limit it to just that. Alright, and then obviously your 2 Star Kaiju. This is really good. This is obviously, this was made for Cyber Dragons, because not only is it a machine type, but it's a light type too. And it just really pushes the envelope and pushes everything for this deck and makes it so much better. Because the idea of being able to take out your opponent's Nibiru, or be able to take out your opponent's Dragoon, or even Phoenix Enforcer, the new guy that just came out. Alright, so that's going to be it for the monsters, guys. Let's move on to the spells. So 3 copies of the new Cybernetic Horizon. It's always treated as a Cyberdark card, and then you can send 2 dragons and or machine monsters with different names or attributes to the graveyard. 1 each from your hand deck to your add 1 dragon or machine cyber monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, you can send a machine cyber fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This is a very fast way to be able to get your Cyber Dragon fusion monsters in the graveyard to get your big Cyberdark boss monsters on the field. This is why they have it. Now, granted, this will lock you into only machine-type monsters, but that is completely okay, since it's pretty much this is pretty much what this deck is nothing but machine-type monsters. And then 3 copies of also the new Cyberdark Realm. This is also treated, when this card is activated, you can add a Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name with a different name from cards in your graveyard. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Cyberdark monster. You can only use the previous effect of it once per turn. If you equip a monster in your graveyard by the effect of a Cyberdark monster that activated when it was normal or special summoned, you can equip from your opponent's graveyard instead. So it still is your opponent's stuff, and you can only activate it once per turn. So that's why it's a continuous. This is really, really good. You can drop this down to 2 if you wanted to, but I'm running 3 in here because honestly this is really good to be able to add a Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand. Because the main idea is to be able to get all the Cyber Dragons out in your hand and be able to get them into your graveyard as fast as possible. And then obviously, you're going to run 3 Cyber Emergencies. This is essentially your Searcher. You add a light machine type monster that cannot be normal summoned or set. Add 1 Cyber Dragon from your deck to your hand. This is really, really essential. That's why you always should have to run 3 in this deck. It's very important. Then 1 Cyber Repair Plant. If you have a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, you can activate one of the following effects. Add a light machine type monster from your deck to your hand, or target a light machine type monster in your graveyard and shuffle that target into your deck. The only reason I'm running 1 of these in here is because you do have dark monsters in here, and this is only kind of half a Cyber Dragon deck. You're only using Cyber Dragon and Cyber Dragon Core and like hers and stuff to be able to get the Cyber Dark cards on into the graveyard. So that's why there's only run 3. Otherwise, it's more essential to run 2 or 3. Then we have 3 copies of Machine Dupe. You guys know what this does. Target a machine type monster you control with 500 or less attack. Special summon up to 2 with the same name than the one that's face up. So this is going to help you get your cores out on the field. Alright, and then 2 copies of Overload Fusion. Fusion summon a dark machine type fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials enlisted on it on your field or graveyard, this is an easy way to be able to get your Cyberdark Dragon and your other Cyberdark fusion monsters easily onto the field. And then you have your Cyber Load Fusion, which will do the same thing, except this is more for Cyber Dragon. So because you do run Cyber End Dragon and everything, and you do run a few of the other ones. And then 2 MSTs. You can replace these with the 3 Infinite Impermanence. This was the only thing that actually, like, my wife decided to take out, and because she's playing with this deck, this is the only thing that she decided to take out instead. If you run it around 3 Infinite Imperms, you totally could. But in the meantime, she's running 2 MSTs just for, like, backfield destruction and stuff, and then an Infinite Impermanence. But this structure deck does come with 3, so definitely take full advantage of that. Alright, so that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. Let's move on to the extra deck. So we have 3 copies of the big bad boy, the new kid on the block himself, Cyberdark and Dragon. He must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing a level 10 or lower Cyberdark fusion monster equipped with the Cyber End Dragon. So mainly what you're equipping it with is you're going to be equipping it with Cyber Darkness Dragon, which is you're going to have the Cyber End Dragon equipped to Cyber Darkness End Dragon, and then you're going to special summon this guy. And he's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, and then once per turn, you can equip the 1 monster from either graveyard to this card. This card can attack a number of times to each battle phase up to the number of equipped cards equipped to it. So that is insane, because he's stealing stuff from your graveyard or your opponent's, and using them as fodder to be able to attack your opponent, which is so, so cool. This guy is such a real, and I love the artwork on it. It's just, it's amazing. It looks gorgeous. And then 3 copies of your Cyber End Dragon. This is how you're going to be able to get into the big bosses and stuff. And he has piercing damage. This was the one choice that actually I did decide to put in. If you have it, Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Now, once this is a dark monster, so that's why it's also in here. If you don't want to do that, I put this in that it's completely up to you, but he's mainly in here to be able to go into the other extra deck cards. Then 2 Chimera Tech Over Dragon. The original attack and defense of this card each will become the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon times 800. This card can attack also as number of many times as it has materials. So essentially it's like Cyberdark End Dragon, except you're not equipped in anything. And its attack will be 800 times the number of materials for it. So the idea is to be able to get all the monsters into the graveyard and everything, like all your Cyber Dragons and Cyber Darks and stuff, and then being able to power him up as much as possible, and then just ram it into your opponent. Then Cyberdark Dragon, which was the original one in the Cyberdark Impact booster pack many, many years ago. If this card is special summoned, target 1 dragon monster in your graveyard, equip this target to this card. It gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster equipped to it. And it also gains 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. If this card will be destroyed by battle, destroy the equipped monster instead. Alright, and then we have the Cyber Darkness Dragon. This is going to be the last one. Actually, I ended up having 3. So it is a 15 card deck. There's actually 3 of these in here. One of them was just stuck on the top. So we have Cyber Darkness Dragon. This is also one of the new cards that came out in this set. 5 Cyber Dark effect monsters. First must be special summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can equip the 1 dragon or machine type monster from your graveyard to this card. It gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster equipped to it by this effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can quick effect send an equipped card to your control of the graveyard to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So this guy is going to really help you because he's going to be negating your opponent's monster effects or your opponent's card effects and everything by sending equipped cards that you have equipped to the graveyard instead. So I mean this. And it's a quick effect, so you can do it on either opponent's turn. So that's going to be it for this deck profile. I just wanted to show you a quick way, easy way to be able to get Cyber Dragon's Cyberdark deck. And it's a lot of fun. I'm so glad that they actually finally brought this and they actually made some of these cards and actually made this deck. This deck has been clamoring for support for so many years because everybody wanted to see it. And I'm just so glad that Konami actually finally did it. And finally released. And actually released new support and new cards for it. That was another thing a lot of people worry about, was going to be the smelly old Cyber Dragons. But no, they released new support for it. So, alright. So that's going to be it for this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, see you guys next time. Later.